made it cocoa. And also in olden days, the shamans where the trees are grown, they still take the bark of a tree, they put it in cold water, and after 24 hours when you rub it on your scalp, it says you can grow hair. It's like cacao is actually a superfood. It is a theobroma. It is the tree of life. So today I've done an installation at Vikhroli Cucina at the Culinary Chroniclers Conclave. And it is the most spectacular feeling. It is my story. It is a story that, guys, we need to save the planet. The cacao trees only grow up to about 20 feet tall. Do you know that?
Okay.
And 20 degrees north and 20 degrees south of the equator.
Okay.
So, and it's a very fragile tree. So if we are going to be felling all the taller trees, the rubber trees, the coconut trees, we are going to be killing all the lighter, the fragile trees that need the shade of the taller trees. So first we need to save our planet. Second, we need to understand what makes us live. We have to save our oceans. So in my tree, I've got the entire side which is only about ocean and the fruit. Let's go and see the tree. We have the ocean and we have the fish and the oysters. And if we do not dispose of our plastic and our pollutants, and if we can't save our seas, our water from contamination, we need to see the growth of the ocean. And then we have what is life without song? What is life without
music,
romance and stories and playing your instrument, whatever it is. This is about life. And that brings us back to the chocolate table.
Okay.
The chocolate table talks to you about the past, the present and the future. So in the past, all the Aztecs, the Mayans, we had 100% dark cocoa liquor.
Okay.
And it was actually freshly ground. And it was consumed with pepper, paprika and honey. That was the real way that it was consumed. It was a sign of victory.
Okay.
And chocolate is to be colored with a little bit of blood because red was the sign of victory.
Okay.
And it was consumed just before war.
Oh.
Then today, the current day scenario is all about milk. So these are the ingredients that go into milk chocolate. We have cocoa beans, we have 100% dark cocoa powder, we have butter, the cocoa butter, which is right here, lots and lots of cocoa butter, milk and sugar. So this is the milk chocolate, and by and large today, all the chocolates that are consumed are milky, are milk-based, sugar-based, but that kind of assassinates the flavor of the true cocoa. And that brings us to the future. The future is about saving our health and knowing what you eat. It's about celebration of being alive.
Correct.
It's about celebration of our planet. And this something, anything, any beautiful chocolate which is more than 70% dark, and they have just the light, delicate tart of a blueberry. The blueberry and 70% is such an antioxidant kick. It is incredible. Then you have the goji berry, which is really not known. It has a slightly chewy texture. It's a little more sweeter than a blueberry and is packed with nutrients.
Okay.
And of course, the lovely cranberry. Perennial hot favorite. The touch of sweetness with a 70% dark. And then please, you can go up from 70 to 100% dark with dates. And when you eat that with the fine shredded julienne of dates, that is beautiful. But while you do that, before you eat this, I would like you to follow me the way we should eat chocolate.
Okay.
So if I could have you eat chocolate the way it should be eaten. Would you like to try that? So this is the way we're going to actually eat chocolate. Truth of the matter is, in order to get the right note, so there are 2-3 things to chocolate. One is that you have to hear the snap. The snap tells you if the chocolate is beautifully tempered. The second thing is the mouth feel. Is it creamy? Is it not? And then is the finish. But when you are tasting chocolate, when you are developing a palate, when you are discovering that there is more than just 4 taste buds. So that is sweet,
Sour,
spicy, sour,
salty,
bitter,
bitter.
salty does not qualify.
Okay.
And the 5th one,
Umami.
right on. So this is how you will discover the umami, the 5th taste bud. So first you look at it and you feel romance. You need to romance the food you eat.
Awesome.
You need to know your ingredients. You need to love the fact that you're eating because you are chosen, you are alive. So then you look at it and you feel the texture. You let it melt between your fingertips. You must feel the cocoa butter. As you go along, it's fine. You must feel it. Let it melt, because the more it melts, you're going to get the sensation. Take it close to your ear and crack it, and hear the snap. That tells you the person who's made chocolate has done it with love. The tempering has been done to perfection. The next thing you do is learn how to inhale and exhale the chocolate. So you close your eyes, literally do pranayama, lose everyone around you and smell, inhale. So you think you could get a few notes. The truth is, inhale and then you exhale after you put it on your palate. So you do not bite your chocolate. Let it circulate. Now inhale and copy me. And exhale. Do you taste red fruit? Do you taste dried grass? Is there a touch of acidity, or is it too acidic for you? Can you smell red fruit or banana or pineapple? And the more you eat it, you will know whether this is the chocolate for you. Is it too dark? Is it perfectly creamy? Would you like something less dark or more dark? And that's all about tasting chocolate. You have to experience the color.
So we had Ziba here who gave us a very beautiful and informative insights on the whole of process involved in chocolate baking. And I'm sure all of you will be benefited by the knowledge which I shared with us. Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure. Such a privilege.